I just thought I'd bring you along in my car today for a Starbucks mukbang. I've just been for a car MOT and I just thought I would catch up with you guys over a Starbucks. I'm actually going to try a new drink. My current fave has been like a coconut latte. So the plan is, I'm also thinking of doing like a Q&A. I put this on my story last week. So I'm just going to answer a few questions as well. Just keep it casual, catch up with you guys. It's been a minute, hasn't it? Especially since I've done like any sort of like chatty, just like mukbang, drive with me. Just had By Any Means by Georgia Smith on, and what a vibe this song is. Like if you're going for like a breakup or something, this would be what I would listen to. I always sing to Georgia Smith songs and feel like I hit a note, but oh, flipping heck, I'm going through one way. Ah! I've just got to Starbucks. There's a bit of a queue, but nothing major. I actually used to sit in this Starbucks and edit a lot of my videos when I first started out filming. Got a really nice little seating area. I feel like in America they have more selection in the Starbucks. Like they have more like sugar-free syrups and stuff like that. Actually, I've had a complete change of thought. I'm not going to get what I said. I'm thinking maybe a matcha tea latte and coffee light frappuccino. I don't want something like super sweet. Hi, please could I get a matcha tea latte with almond?
Sorry, can I take your order now?
Oh, can you hear me? Sorry.
No, sorry, I can't quite hear you.
Closer. Can you hear me now?
Just about, yeah.
Yeah. Could I get a matcha tea latte with almond?
I'm so sorry, I'm actually not getting matcha at the moment.
Oh, okay. Do you do like a light, a sugar-free frappuccino, a coffee one?
Yeah, we've got sugar-free caramel, sugar-free hazelnut, sugar-free vanilla. We can do any of those.
Yeah, sugar-free caramel with almond milk, please.
With almond. Do you want the cream or not?
No, thanks. No.
No cream. Do you still want the drizzle?
No, thanks.
No drizzle either. No worries. Anything else for you?
And an ice grande coffee with 3 pumps of sugar-free vanilla with almond milk.
I'm so sorry, my headset keeps turning off. Sugar-free vanilla, did you say?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, and then what was the first? Sorry, I've got just a medium ice sugar-free latte at the moment. Sugar-free vanilla latte. Was there something else?
No, that's it.
Just
I should have got a chai tea latte. I don't quite know what I've ended up ordering there, to be honest. I'm gutted they didn't have the matcha in. I absolutely love that. Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Oh, I just get. Oh my god. Oh no. I'll get you some blue, guys. Oh, fucking heck. Oh, thank you. Sorry.
I've seen it done at the
Oh god.
Not.
Oh no, I'm all right there. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you. I'm so glad that wasn't a flipping hot drink. Oh, can you imagine? That lady was really sweet though. She gave me so much blue roll. So this is the grande ice latte, sugar-free vanilla syrup with almond milk. Really, really nice. This looks delightful. Grande caramel frappuccino, almond milk. This is way nicer. The iced latte is just not as sweet, bit plain. I've just got all my questions from Instagram on here. First question: how do you cope with bad body image days? Do you even have them? Oh my goodness, of course. Like I feel like everyone has like just images where you're feeling a bit rubbish. I tend to have mine, particularly like when I'm on my period. I just feel really groggy and my hormones are just all over the place. They tend to be when I have just bad body image days, when I'm just feeling like sluggish within myself. My way of coping is just probably around those days, like just not comparing to anyone, just trying to be like, just make more of an effort to be kinder to myself, and whenever I do sort of feel a bit rubbish, you just got to remind yourself, I guess, like what your body does for you like day in day out. And I would just say make sure you're not comparing yourself to anyone else. Just try and be the best version of you rather than like focusing on anyone else, say on Instagram, social media, and if you ever are feeling that way, I would just like limit your time on social media and have a look at like who you're actually following, if like how they're making you feel. A big part of like body image comes down to comparing yourself, which isn't something you can just fix like that. I just think, like I said, it's like little tweaks you can make, I guess. Just start asking yourself, like, say if you've been scrolling on social media, like how do I feel after being on social media? Do you feel more positive, or do you feel sort of more rubbish? And just work on that, really. Next question is, do you have any plans for more doggies? No, not at the moment. I would honestly have a house full of dogs if I could. I do think Penelope would love a little friend, but I think Mason would actually move out if I got another dog. Next one is snacking problem. Now, I am actually the snack queen. There's nothing wrong with snacking at all, but if it's becoming a problem where like you're feeling like quite hungry after, say, a main meal like lunch or breakfast, I would just take into consideration like maybe you're not giving yourself like a good enough portion, or you're not really filling yourself up. So each like plate, make sure you've got a source of like carbohydrates, your vegetables, vitamins, a protein source, and always make sure your meals are made up like around those things. And I think that keeps me fuller for a lot longer, because you can end up eating way more calories by snacking when you may as well just have like a bigger main meal. So the next question is how to balance work/social life with going to the gym. This is something that's taken me quite a while, but I think it just comes down to like trying to figure out your flow, what times you work best and train best. Like some people, Mason, he seems to train better on an evening, whereas I'm such like a morning person. I feel like I get the best gym sessions in first thing, and then it's just like boxed off for the day. Everyone's completely different. Don't feel pressured to be a morning person if it's just not you. The benefits of obviously getting it done in the morning is that you've got more of an evening. I try and get up for about 6:15, get straight to the gym, get my workout in. By the time I'm home and showered, like it's in time for like my work day to start. It's taken me a long time to realise and sort of get to grips with, and it doesn't happen overnight, like finding your flow, but when it does, it's so much better. Like your friends and family are so important. So yeah. Next one is, what is the best way to get yourself into a routine when working full time? So this is kind of similar to the previous question. Trial out some like different routines or like times of waking up. I tried in the past getting up at 5 AM. I really liked that for a bit, and then it didn't really work for me. So I'm mixing up. I think change is sometimes quite good. I just think being organised, like having a diary, like I prefer a written diary rather than on my phone with any routine. You just make sure you actually enjoy it, otherwise it's not going to stick and it's just going to make your life feel like a chore. You want something that energizes you. Like when I've worked out first thing in the morning, I feel like that I just feel so empowered and ready to start my day and stuff. So next one, how did you get in touch with Gymshark? So Gymshark actually emailed me and we were talking over like a good few months, like nothing really happened like that. So the next one is, what's a good way to get out of counting calories? Maybe if you felt as though it's been like excessive and you've just been obsessing over calories, it's definitely such a good idea for your mental health to stop that right away. First step for this is just obviously acknowledge, like we all need to acknowledge every now and then, food is just food. There's no good and there's no bad food. I do think excessive calorie counting can generally come from when you're following like a really strict, ridiculous like fad diet, or just being restrictive and cutting out food you enjoy. Like that can honestly have a negative effect. I've been there in the past and that's happened to me. So I would just really focus on having no like set food groups that aren't allowed in your diet, and just having more of a balanced diet and go from there, really, because I honestly think that is what triggers a lot of obsessive calorie counting. So yeah, I hope that's helpful. So the next one is, how did you get into your crystals and meditation? My lovely friend Claire, who I have known like since I was like 10 or something, she has actually always said to me, oh, you should try meditation. I thought it was for like more religious people or something along the lines of that. I started getting quite, not stressed, but just like feeling quite overwhelmed sort of last year time, and that is when I tried like my first like 5-minute meditation. I just typed it in on YouTube, followed a video, and literally straight away like noticed such a difference from before I did this meditation and afterwards. And all it was is just like checking in with your breath and your thoughts and just looking at things from like a different perspective. and wow, it's honestly changed my life. Like, it's helped me so much this year, especially with like COVID and stuff, and I do think it's getting a lot bigger. Like, a lot more people, some of my friends have also mentioned they have started meditating, and there's so many different like styles of meditation. There's like breath work, like where you vision sort of stuff in your head. So that is how I got into meditation, and then crystals sort of like goes hand in hand with that, like healing crystals. But yeah, it was mainly from my friend Claire, and I'm so grateful actually, because it's really had the most positive impact like on my mindset, and just helps me manage stress. I do it 10 minutes in a morning and try and do 10 minutes on an evening. How to deal with the rest days guilt. So when I first started out, probably within like my first year or two of training in the gym, I definitely used to like hate taking rest days, and I'd find myself like itching to go to the gym and feeling like feeling like I was going to lose all my gains. But you've just got to change your mindset really, because rest days are so important for your recovery. You're not going to get results without letting your body rest and repair like muscle tissue. So just really look at it in a different way and realise that rest days are sometimes way more productive than any training day, because that's when your body recoups and stuff. If you do really struggle with rest days, then try taking it as like an active rest day. Go for like a steady walk instead, so you still feel like you're moving your body, or do some stretching on your... The next question is tips for struggling with motivation. Okay, so this one, like obviously we all have like our unmotivated days. Like, we're not like robotic, and I feel like we can often get ourselves wound up when we wonder why we're like not really feeling it, or I know I have in the past, like I've like got angry with myself. The reality is like you really can't rely on motivation. It's always going to be something that comes and goes, but you've just got to keep pushing yourself. But I think the main thing is having some goals set that are your goals that you really want to meet is what keeps me motivated. It just comes down to being honest with yourself. Like, if you really can't be motivated to do something, it generally is because it's not, it's like how much you want that thing or whatever you have in mind. Like, that's not just like fitness, just in life. And if I'm ever being completely lazy, it's because I'm not enjoying it, or it's not really like a massive goal of mine. So I would just say, like, go back to the drawing board, just get honest with yourself. What goes hand in hand with like setting goals is holding yourself accountable. So if it's with fitness, like say getting a coach or investing in something, that's an expense, so obviously that's going to help you keep motivated. But also remember, like, anything worth having is never going to be easy. When my alarm goes off at like say 6 a.m, sometimes I was like, I cannot be bothered to get up, but I know I will always feel so much better for getting up and like getting a workout in, and it just becomes like a habit. The more and more you do it and make yourself uncomfortable, realizing like, yeah, nothing worth having is ever going to be comfortable, and just keep pushing out of your comfort zone. And like a lack of motivation, just look at how far you've already come within a few months, or from when you first started out doing something. Next one, do you eat the same thing every day for months or a week or just a day? Funny one, I find something I love. So for example, I absolutely love protein oats. You guys must know this if you've watched my what I eat in a day videos. I could easily have that for like breakfast, lunch, dinner. Obviously I don't, but I have that for breakfast literally most days. I've no interest in changing that anytime soon, but I do change the toppings and flavours. Been quite liking chocolate brownie protein oats. But for lunch and dinner, I always mix them around. At the moment, I've been loving the chipolata hex sausages in like a pita bread. If I find something I love, I'll repeat it for a bit, but I do mix it up at the same time, if that makes sense. But in terms of dinner, I always mix that up. I never really have the same thing. There's no right or wrong way to do it. Like, some people find foods they just love, and if you don't want to change it, don't fix something that's not broken. But for me, yeah, I just kind of mix it up. I'm not completely strict. Next one is anxiety in the gym. Now, I even still get this. I was watching some of my old videos, and I remember my old gym that I went to, probably this time last year actually. No, probably 2 years ago. What am I on about? I used to take the biggest tripod to put my camera on to the busiest gym you could imagine, and I just whacked my tripod out, and literally no cares in the world. So anxiety in the gym is something else that comes and goes. Like, some days you will feel less anxious, blah blah, like depends on how busy it is. This morning actually when I went to the gym, it was super busy, and it's my time of the month, and I just wasn't feeling great. I would just say, first things first, just to remember and remind yourself, this is something I always think and sort of go over in my head. People are so invested in their own lives and like in their own thoughts. Everyone's got like their own stuff going on that they might glance over to a few seconds second, and then they'll just go back to their own thoughts. And sometimes it can feel like the whole gym is staring at you, or someone's staring right at you, but yeah, they'll probably just glance for a few seconds and then just go back to their own business. Like, you just think of yourself in the gym, like, yeah, you might look over at someone or whatever, and then you'll just be thinking about like what you've got to do that day, what you're gonna have for breakfast or dinner, or you know, you make sure you go into the gym with a plan. It saves like any aimless like wandering about. If I felt the most stressed in the gym or anxious, it's usually if I haven't had a plan and I don't really know what I'm doing. Make sure whatever you're wearing you feel really comfortable in. That will just help so much, I think, with any like gym anxiety. But the next question is, do you do any cardio? If so, how many times a week and how long? Thanks. I don't do any like specific cardio days at the moment. My main form of cardio just comes from walking, so I aim to do 10,000 steps a day and a few walks with Penelope, and on a weekend I'll go on some like longer walk. Sometimes I'll go on like a run, but maybe once every 2 weeks or something. It's not something I do regularly. Like, my main form of training is weight resistance training. That's just what suits me and my goals at the moment. I did get quite a few questions on like morning routine. Your morning routine, like how you manage to get up early, because I'm struggling. I feel like we all go through phases, but I've got this like little rule. I read this in, was it David Goggins? Yeah, I think I read this in, or I listened to this in a podcast, and it's like the 1-2 rule. So you honestly, after hearing me say this, I bet you'll try it in your car and stuff. But rather than like procrastinating, so you know when you're laying in bed and your alarm's gone off and you go to snooze it, or you think about like just closing your eyes for 2 seconds and then you end up falling asleep and then waking up like an hour later or whatever, I've got the 1-2 rule where I just say in my head 1-2 and then just get straight up and not give myself any time to think about or procrastinate from getting up. And that's honestly helped me so much. So like, I do it as well driving to the gym. Like, pre sort of lockdown, the amount of times I'd like drive to the gym and then I'd spend like 20 minutes on my phone just scrolling or ringing my dad or something. So I do the same thing. So I just go 1-2, get out of the car, go and get things done, and it just saves so much time. So with your mornings, try give that a go. Like, so do, you know, when you wake up, try the 1-2, just jump straight out. Just avoid going on your phone. That is a massive thing, actually. Avoid your phone first thing in the morning. Like, you want to start your day on like your terms, not on Instagram's terms, or I think so. And just delay that till you've got like your main first big task done, like going to the gym or getting a shower or whatever. What are your plans for Christmas? Oh God, I don't know this year. Like, what on earth? I don't know what Christmas is going to be like this year. I know the German markets in the UK, they're not opening, which is so sad. I love going there. But last Christmas we went to France, went to the Alps. Like, it was like a skiing Christmas, which was the most magical thing ever. I'm really grateful that we got to go there last year, but I don't think it'll be like, we have to go in like a chalet this year. But we went with my dad. So my dad, I've got quite a small family, and then all of like Mason's well, most of Mason's family apart from his brother and dad, and that was really nice, like both our families, and we had such a laugh. It was a week and it was in like a chalet, so we had like food included. It was just so much fun and just felt like a little winter wonderland kind of Christmas. But this year, I don't know, it's going to be in the UK, I think. Thinking of hiring like some sort of house in the UK and then just getting like all our like close family and friends in one place, which I thought would be cute. So that's like the only idea for Christmas, really. I don't know, it's a weird time at the minute, isn't it? Like, with everything, it's hard to plan in advance, but you know, we'll get through it. So the next question is, what contraceptive are you on? So I've actually come off all contraceptives at the moment. It's been a bit of a weird few months. Like, I changed my pill from the combined one to the progesterone only, and it did not agree with me. I did actually do a video around like a good few months ago when I did change my pill, and it was fine for the first few weeks, and then I just really started like feeling very much not like myself, quite snappy and moody and irritable, and just did not agree with me at all. So I've come straight off that pill, and I've been thinking about going on the copper coil, but I've heard so many horror stories about how that gets inserted. Just don't want to put any more hormones into my body at the moment. I really hope they bring out some like new methods like that both males can take as well. Like, it's crazy that as women have, you know, there's so many different types of contraceptive when literally the men's contraceptive, the only way basically is either the snip or a condom. I've been on some sort of pill. I did actually go on the pill for the first time to help with like my acne when I was younger, and I do just feel like it's putting like wallpaper over a crack, and I think it can hide, like these pills and stuff can hide a lot of hormone imbalances. I definitely would like to discuss this further, especially in a video when I've done like more research into it, because it is something I've really started thinking about over the past few weeks. I'd love to share sort of like my experiences in more depth, I guess. So yeah, I'm gonna bring this video to a bit of an end. I feel like I answered loads of questions there. My voice is actually going a bit. I've drank nearly both coffees, loved that. This was definitely really good. Yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Do let me know what you thought in the comments down below, and I'd love to see you in the next video. Make sure you are subscribed, join the familia. I've got lots of new different content coming up very soon, and I'll see you in the next video.